Hey everyone, what is up? Welcome to Speak Now Pro Wrestling. I'm Denise Salcedo. It is the July 2nd edition of WWE SmackDown. That's right. Today we're chatting all about the blue brand, and there is so much to get into with today's show. Kind of a lot to talk about, everybody. I feel like usually our SmackDown post show usually is our most relaxed show of the week where, we kind of have a couple things to talk about, but for the most part, it's really just conversation. But I really do think that today, almost every segment on all of the Today show essentially gave us something to talk about. We have the return of Zelina Vega. We obviously have the continuation of Edge versus Roman Reigns. We have some, some news in the Money in the Bank section of things. I mean, it really kind of is a lot to get into here today. So welcome everybody. Before we do get started, I want to thank you guys all so much for joining me, whether you're watching live or you're listening to the audio version of this, whatever the case may be. Thank you for spending your Friday evening with me here today. Friendly reminder, you guys already know, send in your comments, your questions, your statement throughout the entire stream. This is a very interactive podcast, so I do talk to all of you guys here as you guys send in your comments. If you want to make sure your comment gets read on the air, you can send in a super chat. Not only when you send in a super chat, you get your comment read on the air, and also I get to keep whatever proceeds I make from the super chats. You'd think by now, after saying that 100 million times, I'd get it down. But you know what? It's a mouthful. Also, and if you do want to get your comment read here, you can send in a super chat. But also, if you send in a comment as we're talking about whatever it is that we're talking about, I'll read your comments there. Boy, guys. All right, here we go. Let's get this show started. All right, let's see here. We got our first super chat of the day. This one is from Wrestling Gamer. Wrestling Gamer says, I need more King Sook and Rick Boogs in my life. Oh, man, guys, they did it. WWE finally did it. They turned Baron Corbin face in my eyes, all right? That is now 2 weeks in a row that I legitimately feel sorry for Baron Corbin. I never thought I'd see the day. Today, I am a Baron Corbin fan. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Breaking news, July 2nd. Denise Salcedo became a Baron Corbin fan. All because I officially feel sorry for him. Thank you so much to Wrestling Gamer for sending in the super chat here and getting us going. BTW, shout out to Taylor Cannon. Taylor Cannon is our newest YouTube member. If you are here watching on YouTube and you guys want to get all of this bonus exclusive content, you could become a YouTube member. And like I said, you get extra content. So shout out to Taylor Cannon, who just became a YouTube member. Man, we are getting so many comments about so many different things today. I can't wait to jump into all of it here. BTW, for those of you who weren't here on my AEW Dynamite stream, but are here for the SmackDown stream, if you guys are seeing all of the new decorations behind me, this is officially my new setup for now. I'm still going to be changing things, but I kind of got the ball rolling. I got tired of having this really boring background behind me, so I finally spiced things up, added cute things here and there, looking to add some more. But let's go ahead and do this, guys. Let's talk about SmackDown. Again, we're going to go in chronological order, and we actually got another super chat. This one is from Flamethrower Fluff Salisbury, who says, I want to see at least one skit with Corbin and Dr. Shelby. Oh, man. You know what? Baron Corbin has officially become the most relatable person on SmackDown, okay? The guy is having a rough day. He got his car towed. Have you ever gotten your car towed or repossessed? I've gotten my car towed. It sucks. It sucks big time, okay? So you know what? I feel sorry for Baron Corbin. Thank you so much to Flamethrower for sending in this super chat. But let's do this, guys. So we kicked off SmackDown today with Edge's promo. So Edge kicked things off for us today. Edge came back last week. I had a lot of things to say about that because we're essentially going back to Edge versus Roman Reigns. And here's the thing, is that right off the bat, you need to know that SmackDown right now is kind of a lot of the same thing, a lot of what we've already been seeing, and not just in the main event picture, but just kind of throughout the entire card. That seems to be the overall theme of SmackDown within the last couple of weeks, last couple of months, which, to be honest, has kind of it's kind of sucked a little bit, I would say, having to see the same stuff over and over, and also knowing that we're going to continue to see some of the same stuff over and over. So that really was my criticism last week when it came to Edge versus Roman Reigns, or at least knowing that we're headed into that direction. And so this week I thought, you know what, Denise, try not to come in here with these preconceptions that you had last week. Come in here with a blank slate. So I came into this promo with Edge and I started thinking, you know what? This is going to be Edge's opportunity to prove to me, the sassy viewer watching SmackDown, why I should care about Edge versus Roman Reigns. Because I said this last week. I didn't feel like I cared about Edge versus Roman Reigns. I talked about this last week. So today I thought, I hope Edge gets me interested. I hope Edge manages to get me invested in a storyline that I feel I have already seen. So some of you guys may be wondering, did Edge get me invested in this storyline? Well, he comes out and he basically starts talking about what happened at WrestleMania, saying that he watched the match back and that he never does that. And I thought, all right, that's interesting. Okay. Edge says that he can complain about a lot of things, but that he's not going to complain about this. He says he has spent his whole career knocking down obstacles and that he won't stop. And he says he knows that he can beat Roman Reigns and that even Roman Reigns knows that Edge can beat him. He then pulls up a photo of Edge using the piece of the chair on Roman Reigns and essentially choking him with it. He says he will beat Roman. And all I have to say, guys, and I don't want to be, keep in mind, I came in here with a little bit of hope. Keep in mind that I came in here thinking, give it a chance, Denise. But I got to be honest, guys, I still have zero interest. Edge said a lot of the same things that he already said in a zillion, bazillion, cajillion, belonkers, millions of promos that he has been doing, okay? And I'm sorry, but it is the exact same thing. The obstacles, the same exact thing. Now, I kind of felt like with him pulling up that photo, I thought to myself, all right, now he's really reaching. He's really reaching with this. He's trying, get us to look at Roman Reigns' eyes and, oh, this is the photo that proves that I almost defeated Roman Reigns. And I thought, oh, brother, now we're really getting here. So I personally gotta admit that I'm still not sold on this whatsoever. But again, like a lot of people mentioned last week, they said, you know what, Denise? There's nobody else for Roman Reigns as of the moment. It's only Edge. So we might as well just live with it. So I'm living with it. That's pretty much what I got to say about this. What did you think of the Edge promo on Roman Reigns saying that he's going to defeat Roman Reigns? And we'll talk about the events that happened with Jimmy and Edge later on the show. But we have a super chat. This one is from Khaled Adam, who says, hi, Denise, thoughts on Zelina losing in her return? Khaled, thank you for the super chat. I am going to make sure to talk about that once we get to the segment, because I do kind of want to go in depth and I don't necessarily want to jump the gun just yet. But thank you so much for sending the super chat, and I will answer that as soon as we get to that segment. But let's see what we got here, guys. Send in your thoughts on Edge Roman Reigns. All right, we got a comment from, let's see what we got here. We got quite a few, actually. This one is from Cyclops is Better Than Wolverine, who says, Edge says he wasn't going to make excuses and complain. Then immediately he made excuses and complained. I guess you can say that he kind of did, right? Okay, like he started pointing out all of the things that sort of went wrong in this match. And he said like, well, I could focus on those, and then decided not to focus on those. Personally, it wasn't anything to make me say, I want to see this match. Like, here's the thing. It's because they already did this match. You got to prove to me why I want to see it again. And I get it. It wasn't a one-on-one match. I get that. All right, cool. But still, we already saw a good amount of time, a good amount of content where for a very long time, they were pushing it to be Roman Reigns versus Edge. And we got a lot of back and forth there. So in order for this to feel exciting, they really got to shake it up. I get it. Edge has grit. He's been through all the obstacles. Cool. What else? Give me something different here. This is a comment from DTA Podcast. It says, thank you, Denise. You and me both. I'm not sold on Edge. And it's not that I'm not sold on Edge. It's just that I'm not sold necessarily on the story. This is a comment from Tony Solomon who says, I mean, why complain? Edge is awesome. Rather see this match than him versus Ray. Who versus Ray? Roman versus Ray or Edge versus Ray? Because that Roman Rey Mysterio match was good. And see, this is the problem. And this is very unfortunate because they don't take Rey Mysterio seriously. And they've been putting him in these matches, obviously with his son, Dominic, and all of this. But if they actually gave a proper story to Rey Mysterio, how they could have properly built Rey Mysterio, Roman Reigns in a proper way and actually had the Hell in a Cell match, had they actually done a story there, I can guarantee that not only would it have been an even better match, but it would have been a good story, and Rey Mysterio would have been a different and new challenger to Roman Reigns. So I wouldn't necessarily agree that I wouldn't want to see Edge versus Rey Mysterio in a proper storyline, but we all know that's not going to happen since they don't seem to be taking Rey Mysterio very seriously as of late. But what can you do about all of that? And let's see what else we got here. Colette Adams says, Edge should have said he could have outworked Roman in his promo. He could have definitely taken an angle like that and been like, you know what? I lost this match. I saw the mistakes I made from those. I learned from it. And, you know, I've been spending the past however X amount of time coming out with a way to outwork him. Although the whole outworking thing would have probably tied into, you know, Christian and what he's doing on AEW Dynamite. But still, okay. This is a comment from Dan Ingram who says, great filler with an overarching storyline as Edge won't fight for less than the gold. Yeah, and that's one of the topics that I think we touched on last week too, is that this does feel like a filler storyline. And I hope that it is, because I don't want to see this carry out all the way to SummerSlam. Like, I don't want to have that be the SummerSlam match. Like, I need to get this definitely over and done with for my personal liking. Nikita Collins says, Roman Reigns always thinks he's all up there, but Edge is the best and he is going to win. Sticker Red Stu02 says, is there a possibility in the world where Edge derails the Reigns train and wins the title? This is not compelling because I don't believe in it. I hope not. I hate to say it, guys, but I have been saying this a million times in like a zillion different podcasts. But right now, I don't feel there's anybody that deserves to beat Roman Reigns. They have something very special with Roman Reigns, okay? Roman Reigns is probably the best thing that WWE has had, a heel Roman Reigns, the best thing that WWE has had in a very long time. And I said this before, but they really need to, you know, they need to be smart about what they do with Roman Reigns. When you're, whatever the best thing on your show is, I feel like you got to take extra care of that. You know, you want to protect it. You want to book everything around it to be smart. And I don't just want to see Roman Reigns build up this strong reign all of a sudden so that he could just lose to Edge. Like, unless Edge really, really manages to, I think, be like the ultimate baby face. So like right now, like I get it. Like he was kind of doing like a tweener role heading into WrestleMania. But if he were to really get like that Daniel Bryan baby face vibe, then maybe, you know what, some people would definitely want to see that. But I don't. Like right now, that's just not the way that I feel like it's heading. And whenever Roman, because they've done so well right now with Roman Reigns, I feel like why waste it on just something like this when it could be essentially this bigger moment, you know? It could be a bigger moment with Roman Reigns whenever he does lose, and whoever he does lose to is going to get over even more because he defeated Roman Reigns. Like, they've gone this long with him. They've kept him this dominant, this strong. Might as well use that to their advantage. So I do hope that we see something along those lines play out here. We have a comment from Mixed Partial Farts who says, "Hi, Denise. Do you think Edge is an appropriate opponent for Roman at this time? Or would you rather have seen a more current superstar step up and challenge Reigns?" It's not even about being or not being a current superstar. It's about being a new feud. If Edge versus Roman Reigns would have been something new, then I would have totally been all for it. But because it's not new, that's why it's really hard for me to get invested. It's like we've been there, seen there, done that. Seen this. And then also even just the way that Roman Reigns won at WrestleMania, to me, that was a very, very dominating win to actually defeat not one, but two men. And it's like, personally, it's not about him not being a current, like a new face. It's about being a fresh matchup, and this is not a fresh matchup. But thank you so much to Mixed Partial for sending in this super chat here. This comment. We have one from Brandon who says, "Also, we're not seeing enough of Edge. He is a part-timer. The last image we saw of Edge was him getting pinned along with Bryan at the same time. And last week wasn't enough to erase that image because it was a powerful image. Roman Reigns defeated two men, and the way that he pinned them was so it was a douchey way to pin them, to be honest, stacking them on top of each other like a sandwich. I mean, come on, it doesn't get much more like powerful than that. It really does. All right, let's see if we've got any other comments here that I want to read. All right, if you are BTW, friendly reminder, if you want to get your comment read here, 100% guaranteed, you can send in a super chat and I will definitely read your comments here. Also, friendly reminder that this week and next week, we are back to our normal schedule. So Tuesday, I will be back doing NXT. Wednesday, I'll be back doing AEW Dynamite. And then Friday, once again, I'll be back here doing SmackDown. So we're building towards a lot. It's been really good. Overall, I should add this now. This has been, all in all, a very strong, solid week of wrestling, okay? I was very excited today to share my matches of the week. I might as well share them now. My matches of the week were Drew McIntyre, AJ Styles, and Riddle on Raw. And then also MJF versus Sammy Guevara on AEW. And then tonight's match I was going to say Sammy. Oh, yeah, Sammy. I was going to say Sammy Owens. That's what I was going to say. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. They've wrestled each other so much, I'm combining their names together. Anyways, but we had so much good wrestling this whole week. And not only that, not just good wrestling, but good shows that actually flowed well. And I'm even including Raw in this one, okay? It wasn't a terrible Raw this week. So it was very, very nice. And I think that for the most part, I actually think that Raw kind of felt a little stronger this week than SmackDown, but SmackDown wasn't bad either. So I would say that this was a very nice, solid week of wrestling and wrestling programming. And I'm very, very thrilled to say that because, again, you want to keep it good overall. Let's see what else we got here. Let's see. Here we go. This is from Michael So Dope, who says, "The problem is nobody consistently wins, so nobody looks comparable to Roman. That's because they're not building anybody up. They got to build new, credible challengers to face Roman Reigns. So until they do that, we're kind of stuck in this. Let's revisit these old feuds, or let's revisit these like a million times. That's really where we're at right now." All right, guys, let's go ahead and move on. All right, so after this, we had Shinsuke Nakamura and Big E versus Baron Corbin and Apollo Crews. So one of the things that I have noticed about SmackDown, too, is that, we've been talking about the fact that they do so many repeat matches. I mean, so much that I almost feel like a way that they're trying to get around it is by doing these tag team matches with the same people we've been seeing the same matches with, okay? So instead of doing Shinsuke Nakamura versus Baron Corbin, and instead of doing Big E versus Apollo Crews, I feel like to them it's different enough to do it in a tag team, which, to be honest, would be fine, again, if we weren't seeing the exact same things over and over. I don't know why, but for some reason, when this match started, when Shinsuke Nakamura came out and then Big E came out, I forgot that it was a tag team match, or I didn't realize it was a tag team match. I don't know where my brain was at this moment, but for a second, I was like, oh, we're going to see Shinsuke Nakamura versus Big E? Hell yeah, I want to see that. And then I was like, oh, wait, we're not going to see that. Like, duh. But it's just little things like that where I'm like, all right, like we got to break away. That is a big issue. Like we got to break away from seeing the same things over and over. Okay. But anyways, my favorite thing from tonight, or one of my favorite things, I should say, Baron Corbin comes out. Poor guy. He's grown out his hair as much as he could within the last week. It's all gray. He has a gray beard. He's looking like a sad little puppy, aged 10 years in 1 week. He has no pep in his step. He's depressed. Greg Hamilton messes up his intro on purpose, obviously, but you get me. Like, he corrects himself. He announces him as King Corbin, then realizes he's no longer a king, so he takes it back. I mean, just kick the man while he's down. The match itself was really nothing special, to be honest. The focus here really was telling the story. The focus of the story was really just to tell that Baron Corbin is hella depressed without his crown, and that he lost who he is. He lost his spunk. So we see Rick Boogs, who is by the stage. All of a sudden, he essentially makes an announcement that Baron Corbin's car is being towed. And they pop up on the video pops up on the screen, and essentially it's his G-Wagon. And first they said it was being towed, then they said it was being repossessed. So it looks like, it kind of made it seem like he couldn't pay his bills or something. I'm not really too sure, but the point is his car is being towed, okay? And I'm just thinking, man, the guy lost his crown. He's looking terrible. Now they towed his car. Oh man, I felt so bad for Baron Corbin. I'll be honest with you. I've had these weeks, especially living out here in Los Angeles. They're be towing cars left and right because they have so many parking rules. They have like 50 signs in one parking spot where like 1 second you think you can park, the next you can't park there. I mean, it's convoluted. Anyway, so I've been there. I know what Baron Corbin is going through. He has my sympathy. Anyways, but going back to the Greg Hamilton thing where they did the announcement and all of that, I do have to say that I was very pleasant. I was very happy that they did that because I feel like a lot of the times, sometimes WWE misses on those little moments that could make something like extra sweet. And just that incorporation of Greg even messing up his intro added to essentially kicking Corbin while he's down. But anyways, going back to the match, the finish happened after the video comes out. And so that obviously distracts him. Big E is able to get the big ending, and that is how he is able to pin Baron Corbin. After the match, Baron Corbin's just sitting there looking so depressed, practically crying. I think he was crying or it was sweat. I don't know, but the guy was sad. After this, later on in the show, we see Rick Boogs continue to kick him while he's down. He's walking all sad backstage, and Rick Boogs is like, I'll invite you for chicken, a la king. And then he says, I hope to get a good night's sleep in your king bed. And it's just really sad. But congratulations. They finally turned Baron Corbin babyface in my eyes. All right, what did you guys see? Go ahead and send in your comments. Let's see. We're going to get through some couple of comments that people were asking if I got my car towed before. Funny story, I actually got my car towed right before WrestleMania 32 in Dallas. The day before I was flying out to Dallas, I went to dinner with a friend, and I didn't realize that it was 4-hour parking only, and I was there for 6 hours. So I came out all happy, belly full of food. I come out and my car's gone, and it's like 9 p.m. at night. I'm supposed to leave the next day. I'm in a part of the town that I don't even know. It was terrible. So yeah, I completely feel for Baron Corbin on this. We have a comment from Stephen Butler who says, I have no sympathy for Baron Corbin. Next video should be the bank taking away his house because he can't make the mortgage payments. But wait, so all of a sudden the crown is essentially what gives him money? I don't know. Pod Jr. 77 says that was a real heel move. Pomi Wrestling says, I have the feeling WWE is trying to have the crowd laugh at Corbin and seem pathetic since they had the babyface Rick Boogs mock him later on in the night. I don't feel like that's how it's hitting, though. I feel like a lot of people, at least based on what I saw, like on Twitter and whatnot, I think a lot of people felt sympathetic towards Baron Corbin. Like I felt sympathetic towards Baron Corbin. So I think a lot of people kind of felt that way too. Now I'm sure there's people that are like, oh, well, good. Like, let's laugh at him because he was such a douche before. Like, let's poke him while he's down. He deserves this. You know, karma goes around. What goes around comes around type of thing. But I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure if that's how I really feel that everybody is, you know, feeling about this. Let's see what else we got here. All right, I'm going to go through a couple more comments. Fear Loath in New York City says, Denise, who goes out to eat for 6 hours? I can talk a lot. And so like my friend and I were like talking a lot. Girl talk lasts hours, bud. It lasts hours. So yeah, it was a 6-hour dinner, guys. I have very long dinners. Don't ask. Anyways, we have a comment from Dan Ingram who says, endless crap. Same next week. Yeah, I might as well mention it now since Dan just brought this up. Get excited, everybody. Get pumped because next week we're going to see Shinsuke Nakamura versus Baron Corbin in a Money in the Bank qualifying match. Yeah, get excited, everyone. It's totally happening. I'm being sarcastic for the audio listeners who can't see my face at the moment, but we are having that match next week, and I've lost track of how many times we've now seen this match this year. Hell, the last 60 days. I've lost track, guys. I was keeping track on Twitter, and then I lost track, so there you go. All right, let's see what else we got here. Oh yeah, somebody, actually, I forgot to mention this as well. Martin Carrillo says, even McAfee bullies my boy Corbin. But thank you for bringing up Pat McAfee because Pat McAfee was dancing on top of Michael Cole tonight when Shinsuke Nakamura came out and did his entrance. I thought that was pretty hilarious. You know, the good thing about Pat McAfee and Michael Cole is that I feel I won't be surprised if Michael Cole is having so much more fun at his job now that Pat McAfee is there because he really kind of lightens the mood up. And you kind of noticed it a little bit that he's kind of bringing out like the real Michael Cole or like more of a relaxed version of Michael Cole. You know, obviously that's a hard job to do, but I feel like Pat McAfee is sort of, you know, loosening him up a little bit, you know? It's really nice. Colette Adam, thank you so much for sending in a super chat. And he says, thoughts on the Patriot passing away. Yeah, I felt that was crazy because Sean Ross Sapp and I were just talking about the interview that he had shot on Monday. And not that he shot it on Monday, excuse me, but on Monday we were talking about the interview that he did with him. And he was saying he was going to put it up on 4th of July weekend. And then I actually got a text with the screenshot of what I believe it was his wife or one of his family members, or maybe his mom, that posted the news about his passing. And I sent it to Sean and he was just like, oh my God. Because it was just so crazy how we were just talking about this on Monday. And then a couple of days later, it's like he's in the news because he passed away. So that's very unfortunate. You never like to hear of anybody passing away. Life is short. We got to make the most of it, guys. So I don't know what to say, but yeah. Thank you so much, Colette Adam, for sending in the super chat. And sorry, I never know how to segue from these like sad, unfortunate things into like back into silly nonsense. So I'm going to segue terribly back into SmackDown here, everybody. Chris Cage 2X says, is this all to set up gimmick? Happy Corbin. That's right. I forgot about Happy Corbin. But is it going to be Happy Corbin in an ironic way where like they're calling him Happy Corbin, but he's really depressed? Like he's not happy whatsoever. Is that what they're going to do here? I mean, I think that would actually be kind of funny instead of having him be happy. Like be called Happy Corbin, but not be really happy. I don't know. I'm putting way too much thought into this. I'm probably putting more thought into this than probably creative put thought into this. Let's see what else we got here. All right. This is a comment from, okay, we're going to get some more here. This one's from Martin who says, calling it now, Pat McAfee is going to be the most over WWE superstar in all of WWE. All right, guys, let's move on here. Let's move on to the Bayley Bianca segment. All right, let's go. Here we go. Oh, this is a good comment. This one is from Kevin Ashes Cool, who says, Corbin needs to join the Alpha Academy. Hey, based on what we've seen it do to Otis, he should. Yeah, he should. Yeah. All right, here we go. So Bayley comes out and she's sporting her Pugsley Adams look, her best Pugsley Adams look. And she says that Bianca is essentially crumbling in the weight of the expectations from the fans, basically saying that she's failing as champion. Then Bianca comes out and she tells her that she needs to put a crack in her mouth. Okay. Then she says that she's beaten her over and over again and that Bayley is just obsessed with her. Then they're both arguing about who's in whose head. Bayley says she knows that she's already gotten into Bianca Belair's head. Bianca says that she needs to embarrass her, that she needs to embarrass Bayley to the point of no return. And I'm thinking, all right, here we go. They're going to start setting up a match. Where are they going with this? So then she tells Bayley that she is willing to put her title on the line in an I Quit match. And Bayley is just like, yes. And then they both agree. So it's looking like we're going to be getting this match here. But now, here we go, guys. So it looks like we're getting this match at Money in the Bank. I Quit. I think actually they already announced it. So yeah, we're definitely getting this match already at Money in the Bank. Bayley versus Bianca Belair in an I Quit match. But this is now their third consecutive pay-per-view match. Remember when I said at the top of the show that the theme of SmackDown right now is basically seeing the same things over and over again? Well, this continues the theme. So we had WrestleMania Backlash. They faced one another. Hell in a Cell, they faced one another, and now Money in the Bank. But here's the thing. So instead of coming out here and kind of telling you guys, dang, I don't want to see this match again, it's not necessarily how I feel. So the reason for that is I've enjoyed all of their matches together. I really have. But here's the thing, and this is really the most noteworthy takeaway thing from this, is that I feel we need to give credit to Bayley here. And the reason for that is because Bianca is a new champion, okay? Bianca, she came in, she became champion, but before that, she had a lot of momentum behind her. A lot of people can argue, and with good points, that a lot of that momentum has gone down. I have said that I think Bianca is going to be one of those people that really, really thrives once the live crowds come back and they're touring and all of that. I think she is going to be one of those people to really benefit from the live audience. But so she had all of this momentum, and that kind of really went down. And I think the reason for that is because they didn't really keep her reign all that hot. They had her come out, do these kind of like lame promos, and, she's doing these celebrations. And yeah, it was nice for 1 week, but then they kind of just you could tell they didn't really know what to do there. So they finally get into the storyline with Bayley, and you're thinking, all right, great. Bayley is a perfect first challenger for Bianca. But now it's been like 3 months later, and we're still here. But the point that I want to make here is that Bayley is a great challenger for Bianca, because Bayley is somebody who has already built and established a reputation for herself and is already respected amongst, fans, and is already at a certain level that obviously Bianca is not there yet, given the experience and the time that they've been with the company and all that they've done, et cetera, et cetera. But if it wasn't for Bayley right now, who else would they be having Bianca work with that would actually elevate Bianca as champion? There's literally nobody else. I mean, obviously right now Sasha Banks is taking a break. That's perfectly fine. She just lost the belt. Cool. She's going to get a massive pop when she comes back. That's great and fine and dandy. But unfortunately, because the thing that we've been talking about nonstop every week is that there are really no women on the roster, and the women that are on the roster haven't necessarily been built strong enough to actually make you believe that they are a force to be reckoned with against Bianca. So Bayley is the only option. But with all of that, they still have managed to at least try to keep the story not fresh, but at least they try to add new things. So I do appreciate that. So instead of coming out here and basically bearing the fact that we're going to see this for the 1 zillionth time, actually for the 3rd time, I just got to say, you know what? Kudos to both of them, because they realize what they're working with, and it's very limited what they're working with, and they're doing the best here that they possibly can with this story. Have I been a fan of it, everything that they've been doing every week? No. I was totally over all the laughing stuff. I wasn't interested in any of that. But they have been doing at least something different, or trying to do something different, even in their matches. They've been telling different stories in their matches, and I'm totally cool with that. So that's how I feel about that. What do you guys think here? Let's see what we got here. All right, this is coming from Joseph Boza, who says, yeah, kudos to Bianca and Bayley. They have made chicken salad out of chicken shit. Thank you. That's really the easiest way to put it. It really is. But of course, it's rinse and repeat, but obviously it's not their fault. Pomi Wrestling says, no matter how good or bad their promo segments are, I've given up on this feud after it continued beyond a freaking Hell in a Cell match. Exactly. And it's like, if you were going to do that, I mean, I'm sure they didn't know back during the Hell in a Cell time that they were going to do an I Quit match, but they might as well have done an I Quit Hell in a Cell match since, we've seen that. They might as well have done that. But again, like I said, they're working with limited means here in terms of options for Bianca as of this moment. Colette Adams says, poor Bianca talks like she's reading from a script. That is one thing that I have noticed, that there has been times where I feel like Bianca kind of forgets what she's saying. I don't know if it's just me. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but there have been moments where I have noticed that. But obviously, she's just going to get better and better. It might feel kind of awkward when she's out there with not a real audience. She's probably not used to that. So maybe again, once the real crowds come back, she could feed off the energy from the crowd and, give at least a better promo. This is a comment from Justin Martin, who says, this just totally cheapens the idea of Hell in a Cell matches. If a feud continues after they have a freaking cell match, there's no point in having any cell matches anymore. To be honest, I completely agree with this comment, and I've said this before, but here's the thing. This isn't the only thing that has cheapened the Hell in a Cell. This isn't it. There's been so much that has cheapened the Hell in the Cell match to the point where, I just see this as a steel cage match now. I see this as, it doesn't feel special anymore, and this obviously isn't the only case by which I believe has actually cheapens this stipulation. The stipulation used to actually mean something. It does not anymore, but it isn't just because of this. But thank you so much to Justin Martin for sending in this comment here. And we have a comment from Matthew, who says, another rematch. However, an I Quit match. Yeah, my gosh, I'm quite excited. And Tamzita points out SmackDown is currently has very few less women from all the other rosters. Definitely. All right, guys, let's go ahead and move on. So after this, we're going to jump into Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn, last man standing match, Money in the Bank qualifying match. Obviously, given the fact that some people are being handed spots in the Money in the Bank, it does look pretty dumb that these guys have to go out there and practically kill themselves to earn a spot. Hell, if you ask me, based on how they're just handing the spots off to the women, they might as well just give, after this match, give it to both Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Dang, they went out there and they had a hard-fought battle. Anyways, this match was awesome, okay? Now, you're probably thinking, Denise, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn always have an awesome match. And yes, you are right, because they do. But one of the things that I need to put out there in the universe is, here's the thing about Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, is that no matter how many times we go out there and we see them wrestle one another, they always manage to do something different, to bring something different to the table. This match felt very different than the last one that we just saw. The last one that we saw, they were it was very more aggressive, hard-hitting type of match. And then this one was just a bunch of spots, just keep them down, doing anything to keep them down. Obviously falls in line with the premise of a last man standing match, but nevertheless, still a different match. Right from the top, they did so much in this match, but I'm going to highlight a couple of things that they did. Right from the top, we see a cannonball from Kevin Owens. They go to the outside. Kevin Owens chops Sami. Kevin Owens bangs Sami's face onto the LED boards. We see a swanton from the barricade from Kevin Owens to Sami Zayn. And then Sami throws Kevin Owens onto the commentary table, which looked pretty awesome. Obviously, the table didn't break. That sets it up for later, but still a really good spot there. Kevin Owens then sets up 2 tables, and they tease a superplex onto both of those tables, but nothing happens. Then we end up seeing Sami eventually push Kevin Owens into both of those tables, and I'm thinking, oh man, this is it. That's it. This is going to be the 10 count. We're done here. But no, Kevin Owens gets up at 9. Honestly, they could have ended the match here, and I would have still said that this was an awesome match, but they kept it going even further. After this, they did even more. We see a half tiger, half dragon suplex on the ring apron from Sami Zayn to Kevin Owens. Then there's a moment where Kevin Owens is about to just brutalize Sami Zayn, and Sami Zayn is on his knees, and he just looks up at Kevin Owens and he says, "How did we get here?" And I'm just thinking, oh my God, that was such an awesome little touch. And you only really see that with guys who know what they're doing, guys who have such great chemistry, and guys who are out there having fun. Afterwards, the finish here, we see Kevin Owens put Sami Zayn through the commentary table, through a regular table, and then we see him pull him by his beard and then powerbomb him on the apron, which is the way that their feud started in NXT. So kind of like touching on all of that was really cool. And then we see Kevin Owens win, so he moves on and qualifies for the Money in the Bank. This was definitely one of the best matches of the week. Loved it. All right, guys, let's see what we thought here. We have a comment from Cameron2418 who says he loved the match. The Cooge says, oh, we'll touch on this afterwards about Thea. We have a comment from Dan who says, I was happily surprised when Kevin Owens won. I thought the medical tape would have played into the match. Yeah, and obviously, he was working, the arm a lot in this match. We saw that. But honestly, yeah, I kind of was a little bit surprised that Kevin Owens won too. I was actually expecting Sami Zayn to win this, but to be honest, I didn't mind either or. I was totally cool with. Kevin Owens is going to do so much cool stuff in that match. Sam3 says, wasn't Kevin supposed to take time off? If you count a week as time off, I guess it counts, right? When he said time off, I was expecting like a month, 3 months, 2 weeks, maybe not just a week though, but you know what? Things change, especially in a business like this. We have a comment from Mr. Tampering with Evidence who says, shame we get this in the Thunderdome and not in a live crowd. Oh, don't worry. We're probably going to see Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn a million more times with the live audience. I don't even worry about that. I do not even worry about that. And so, yeah, guys, it was a really good match. Like, if you did not watch this match, go out of your way to watch it. Aaron points out, I like the incorporation of the stacked tables. That was refreshing to see. I did too. Like, even just the placement of where they placed them, by the turn posts. Like, I liked all of that, and it looked badass. And they could have easily just done the one table. They did the 2 tables, obviously, to get that height. So that was pretty good too. And yeah, actually, you know what? I need to read this comment. Somebody brought up a good point here, and I kind of lost it for a second. This one's from Martin. So earlier we were talking about the missing of the challengers for the women's division, but Martin points out that SmackDown is really missing challengers for all divisions. Look at Apollo too. That's the theme of like the night that we're seeing. Like, really is the theme. I mean, look how many times Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn have faced each other. Oh man. All right, guys. I think for the most part, we got most of these comments in. Cool. All right, guys, let's move on to what's next after this. All right, here we go. This is a very important topic to touch on here, because this is where I'm very curious to see what you guys have to say. So get your thoughts going, everybody, because we have the return of Zelina Vega here. She had a controversial departure from the company. You guys all know the story. God, I don't even know how long ago that was, but it wasn't that long ago. And now she's back. Sonya Deville comes out, and Sonya Deville and Adam Pearce are just doing an awful job. An awful job. They're not making sense. They're looking very, very incompetent as GMs or whatever the hell they are, whatever their role is, their corporate role. They're looking really bad in this. Anyway, Sonya Deville comes out, and last week she handed the spot to Carmella. She's making Liv Morgan work like a mad woman. Anyway, so she announces that Zelina Vega is back. Zelina comes out and she says that she's in the Money in the Bank now. And I'm thinking, oh, snap, Zelina Vega's back. Well, not really. I wasn't really thinking that. I'm exaggerating. I'm exaggerating. We all read the rumors. We all saw the reports. We all saw that. We were all expecting Zelina Vega to show up at some point. Okay, so I was exaggerating when I say that. I was like, ooh, Zelina Vega was back. Nope, I expected it. But anyways, I still was like, oh, okay, here she is. This is it. But they announced that she's in the Money in the Bank, and I'm thinking, why? Why is Zelina Vega automatically in the Money in the Bank? I mean, I get why. Again, they don't have enough women. Cool. But, I mean, come on. Doesn't make sense. I don't know. They should have come up with a way to at least make some qualifying matches over on SmackDown. Doesn't make sense. Anyways, so I'm thinking at this point, what about Liv Morgan? Poor girl. She was out there complaining last week about Carmella getting this shot handed to her, and she defeats Carmella last week, and nada. She's still not in the Money in the Bank, and I'm thinking, wow, that is just messed up. So then Liv Morgan comes out, and she's just like, this is not fair. She points out how Sonya Deville was just handing spots. She handed a spot to Carmella. She handed a spot to Zelina Vega. And she's pissed. She's saying how life's not fair. And I'm thinking, hell yeah, Liv Morgan. You do your thing, girl. You do your thing. You should be mad. And then Zelina Vega kind of goes off on her and starts basically explaining to her why she's in the Money in the Bank and puts herself over in a fantastic way. Zelina cuts a hell of a promo. That's something Zelina's very good at. She's great on the mic. We already know that. So that was a fantastic promo from Zelina. I will give her that much, definitely. So then afterwards, we actually get Liv challenges Zelina Vega because she's pissed off. She's angry and she wants to prove that these girls are being handed their spot when she's the one who deserves it. I love it. They have a simple match, and you're not going to get that much out of Zelina in terms of like in-ring wise. So I think they had the best possible match that they could have right now. Simple match. And we see Liv Morgan winning. So Zelina Vega already lost her debut match. Not necessarily the best way to make a debut, but okay. Her re-debut, her return, you can say. Her return match. Not the best. But anyways, what I'm going at here is that I think what they should do with Liv Morgan here is the fact that she's coming out here and she's pissed about Carmella and Zelina getting handed these title shots. These qualifying positions into the Money in the Bank match. She's upset, and she's right. So I like that they are making her this stronger baby face. Like she's coming out here and she's calling BS already. I'm going to get behind her. And then she's getting wins. So not only is she talking about what she's going to do or talking about winning these matches, she's actually winning these matches. So as a viewer, I'm thinking, you know what? I'm going to get behind Liv Morgan. I'm getting behind Liv Morgan even more than I already was. And I love this. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, so if you're doing this with Liv Morgan, you would think that they would have her eventually, obviously, qualify for the Money in the Bank, get her spot, and then win the Money in the Bank. All right. Now, a lot of people were like, Denise, she's not ready. She's not ready. She's not ready. Okay. Make her ready. Help her get ready. Have her win the Money in the Bank match. If they're going to keep telling the story of her essentially being screwed out out of every opportunity and her proving herself, have her win the Money in the Bank match. Have her win. And then afterwards, keep giving her wins. Keep building her up. They can do it. They have the power to do this. And so I hope that is the story that they tell, because I think it's a good story. But I do not have faith that they actually are. Okay, that's the problem. The problem is not finding a good story. The problem is whether or not they're actually going to execute said story. All right, so that's basically what I wanted to get at there. I think I got one of the other ideas too. It's like if they have Liv Morgan essentially be like the last, if Sonya Deville keeps handing out spots and Liv Morgan is the one who essentially gets left off all the way until the end, I think that would be pretty good too if they did something like that. If she just took like the very last spot. But when it comes to Zelina, I think that they really need to have her be a manager. I think that's like where she shines the brightest. So, alrighty, guys, I'm seeing lots of comments coming in here about Zelina, about Liv Morgan. What do you guys think about how they're playing out this Liv Morgan story? How they handled the return of Zelina coming back, period. Send in your thoughts. All right. This is a comment from Edgar Dominguez who says, I'm not able to get my hopes up anymore with any superstar. AK Germany 96 says, they could have explained Zelina being in the Money in the Bank by it being her demands for coming over from Raw. They could have done anything. Them just handing it to her was very, very uncreative. We have a comment from Planet Dan ASMR, who says, they had Zelina lose her first match back via roll-up after she said she was going to embarrass Liv. They have made her look like a loser already. I wish she'd gone to AEW, and she will too eventually. I don't know, man. I mean, based on right now, I feel like if she was going to go, she would have gone when she was released. And, obviously with Andrade there and everybody was, fantasy booking Zelina and Andrade again and, her being his manager and all of that good stuff. But obviously that doesn't seem like what she wanted to do. Doesn't seem like that's where her heart was at. And it's perfectly fine. Her heart wasn't there. Her heart wasn't there. But I think her losing in her return match, I don't know, man. I don't know. I kind of feel like I hope they find a way to utilize her strengths. That's what I hope. I hope they find a way to utilize her strength. I think that's the best way to put it. We have a super chat from Brandon Charles Powell. Thank you so much to Brandon, who says, I feel bad that I questioned that WWE will give us a payoff for this, but I really hope they tell the story of Liv overcoming the odds. It's a great story. Think about it. It's something, too, that has been such a big conversation. Like, there is such a big story there. She can talk about how she lost all her friends and the Riot Squad. She can talk about how, she could even play along with, like creative didn't see, nobody saw anything in me. The people in the back, they didn't see anything in me, but I'm proving myself each and every single week. Sonya Deville didn't see anything in me. Adam Pearce didn't see anything in me. She can play off of that, and that would be great. Like, if they were to give her something like that, obviously she's starting to get the wins, keep that going. If they were to give her this overcoming the odds thing, I think they can definitely build her up to actually be something on the roster. So I do hope for that, but obviously hoping and it actually happening is two different things. And let's see what else we got here. This is a comment from Alex, who says, feels like they hired her back so they could push her for like a week or two and then feed her to Charlotte or Becky. See, that's also like, you can't help but like wonder behind your mind, like, are they really gonna do something with her? Are they? I don't know. We don't know. We have a comment from Kevin Nash. It's cool. Who says, Liv's story is great, fighting for a spot, and didn't expect to see Zelina, but weird for her to lose. They should have kept them apart at least for the first week. Yeah, it seems a little bit strange. And we have a comment from Bloody Blues, who says, Zelina has egg on her face after the way things ended with her in WWE last time. I wish her well, but I don't have much faith in WWE making it work. Yeah, and we've all heard stories of the way that sometimes things play out. I just hope that they didn't hire her back to like, quote unquote, teach her a lesson or anything, because she did stand up to the company, even if it was for a brief moment, about, independent contractor status and all of that. And so I hope that's not the case, but it makes you wonder for like a tad of a second. And let's see what else we got here. This one's from Greggy696, who says, I'm really curious if Zelina signed before or after Tommy got let go. I think given how positive he was about his release and how positive he was towards WWE, I feel like you could assume that there was definitely something there, because if like your wife is about to be like almost hired back and you just got let go, but you don't want to be like burying the company when there's a chance your wife might go back. So I feel like given because of how positive he was after that release, I feel like it's a safe assumption to make. But again, this is all just hearsay. I don't really know. So this is just my prediction. We have a comment from Hanger Bob, who says, Zelina is currently live on Twitch, so she's got that in her contract. I did not know that she was live on Twitch right now. Okay, that's very, very interesting. All right. So then we also have a comment from, let's see what else we got here. All right, I think we got pretty much everything here. Okay, this one's from Bloody Blues, who says, in case you haven't heard yet, Aleister Black just said on Twitch that he won't return to WWE. What? Okay, so apparently that just happened. Guys, this is all happening right in the moment here. Everybody is telling me what is going on here. All right, let's see what else we got. I think we're getting several comments on this, but we'll see what happens, obviously, in the next coming weeks. Here's the pro, everybody. Here's the big pro about having Zelina back on SmackDown or back in WWE, period, is that we need more women. We need them. We need them, okay? So at least it's good to have her back on that end for sure. All right, guys, let's go ahead and move on from this. So after this, we had an announcement that we're going to be having Seth Rollins versus Cesaro next week. Again, BTW. This is a Money in the Bank qualifier. And basically here, Seth Rollins, who's a heel and is supposed to be delusional, was kind of the purpose, that was kind of the man that was right in this conversation, because he goes back and he's confronting Sonya Deville and Adam Pearce, and he's basically telling them like he's mad that they didn't give him a title shot, but yet Edge gets a title shot. And he's upset about it. And then Pierce and Sonya are all like, well, you know, he won the Royal Rumble and he never got his one-on-one. And Seth is like, what are you talking about? You guys put Daniel Bryan in the match. So like, what are you talking about? Seth Rollins made them look so dumb. So yeah, Seth Rollins here, who's the heel and who's delusional supposedly, was the one with making all the sense in the world. But anyway, Seth Rollins versus Cesaro again. So that's happening. All right, guys. And then after this, we had Otis versus Angelo Dawkins. Obviously, Otis comes in with his new look. He looks so different vibe. We've been seeing it. He just continues to get that, you know, going further and further every week. This is a very relatively quick match. Otis suplexes him. Otis splashes Angelo Dawkins twice, and he gets the win. I'm going to say the exact same thing I said last week about this. Why didn't they do this when he held the Money in the Bank briefcase? Look at what they could have done with Otis. Why didn't they just do it then? Why did we have to see Law and Order with Otis and The Miz? Why? WHY? I don't know. We have a super chat. Thank you so much to Chris Cage 2X. It says, maybe if WWE didn't release all their wrestlers, then there would be more challengers and not to resorting to things like bringing back Zelina. Obviously, because, you know, they did release a lot of women. You know, they released Peyton, Billy, Mickey, Chelsea, so many. And so, yeah, you could argue that too. And they do have a lot of women down in NXT. They could definitely reshuffle some of those faces around. I do hope that they do that because there is a lot of talent down there as well. And a lot of people that I think could definitely do great things on the main roster. So I do hope we get to see that. But thank you so much to Chris Cage 2X for sending in this super chat. All right, guys, let's move on. Lastly, we have Jimmy Uso calling out Edge. And so Jimmy Uso comes out, he's calling out Edge, and Edge comes out and he basically tells him, like, why don't you see that Roman Reigns is using you? You're just another one of Roman's bitches. And then they start going at it. Jimmy super kicks him in the ring. Then Edge kicks him in the face, lands several punches on him. Then Edge spears him. Then Edge goes and gets a piece of the chair. He breaks it off, similar to what he did to Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, and chokes out Jimmy Uso. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of SmackDown. All right, guys. I think we got pretty much everybody. Did I get everything that we got here? Yeah, we got everything that went down here on SmackDown. Overall, I would say that this show had a lot going on. It was a good show for the most part because they gave me a lot to talk about. We had the return of Zelina. We had that awesome match with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Obviously, we have everything that's going down with Edge and Roman Reigns. We didn't see Roman Reigns at all today. Which I guess it's not bad whatsoever. We've been seeing a lot of Roman Reigns, and I kind of like this like mysteriousness of like, where is Roman and all of that. So I'm totally cool with all of that. Now I just hope that they kind of switch things up a little bit and that we don't see the same matches over and over. But already next week, we know we're going to be seeing a lot of rematches. So that is what it is. We have a super chat. Thank you so much to Lane Dashko. He says, hey, Denise, huge fan. I was a Thunderdome fan tonight. It's interesting being told what to cheer and what to boo. Thoughts? Interested to know, Lane. You don't have to send us in a super chat, but if you send in a comment, let us know if there was anybody that you thought was interesting that you had to cheer or boo in the comment section. But you know what I was thinking about today? And I don't know why I didn't think about this sooner, but I just thought about it today, is that I haven't been in the Thunderdome at all. Like I never signed on to be on the Thunderdome. And I thought that was something that I would eventually do, but I never did. And so now I kind of feel bad that I never experienced it. And so like we're almost coming to the end of this Thunderdome era, and I have no idea what it's like to even be in it. So I kind of feel like I kind of missed out on that. We'll see. I don't know if I might have another chance or so, but it is interesting though. All right, and let's see. This is a comment from Lane. He says that he had to boo Baron Corbin and cheer the Boogs guy, who was a huge DICK. That sounds about right, honestly, in terms of who they had you boo and cheer. That definitely sounds about right, even though it feels like Baron Corbin feels like he's turning babyface here. We have a comment from Cameron2418 who says, I love it. This isn't the I'm just happy to be back Edge anymore. This is the rated R superstar we all love. Ooh. And you know what, though? Even though I'm not completely crazy about it, I don't know what else to add to that. I've said all I've said about Edge and Roman Reigns. Edgar Dominguez says, why do you think Sonya isn't wrestling? I think she's still dealing with some of the stuff that she had going on with that stalker. I have a feeling that that has something to do with it. Although I wouldn't be surprised if we do see like Liv Morgan, Sonya Deville at some point. I feel like that could be a possibility based on, you know, what's been going on in story-wise. I do want to see Sonya wrestle, you know, soon, because I do miss Sonya, especially because when this whole thing went down with that crazy bastard who was stalking her and wanting to do horrible things, which BTW should have been punished for it, but hey, she was literally one of the top women during that moment, during that time. She was a major focus on, you know, what she was doing with Mandy. I liked everything that was going on with her on a weekly basis. So I kind of feel like it was really bad timing, considering that she was really picking up, you know, this steam, picking up this momentum and really making her name for herself. So it just kind of really sucks that all had to happen. So I do hope that she does come back and she gets rid of this whole like thing that she's doing as like this corporate person, especially because the way that they're having her make these really dumb decisions and they're making her look incompetent. It's like, oh, like you don't want to add that stench to her. Like you don't want to add that stench to Sonya. You want to separate her from that. So I do hope they separate her from that soon. So we'll see what happens with all of that. And let's see what else we got here. I think we got pretty much everything. All right, guys. Yeah, we got everything. All right, everybody, before I go, friendly reminder, do not forget to come back on Tuesday. I will be here talking about NXT. And then you can also check out We're Live, Pal, which is with myself, Garrett Gonzalez, and Andrew Zarian. And then I will be back on Wednesday for AEW Dynamite. And then I will be back once again for Friday Night SmackDown. So I am now on 4 times a week, 3 times a week doing solo streams. And you can also catch my commercials on Twitch. And I'm also helping run the Twitter and Instagram account at WNWONF4W. You guys can definitely go over there and follow. So there is just so much going on. I also recently uploaded an interview with Tommaso Ciampa. You guys can check that out. That was such an awesome interview. You can find that at youtube.com/Denise Salcedo. Interviews with Frankie Monet, Raquel Gonzalez, Cody Deaner, Havoc, you name it. Any promotion, I'm chatting to people and getting those interviews out for you guys. So make sure you guys check all of that out. And if you haven't already, please make sure to follow me on Twitter and or on Instagram at _Denise Salcedo. On Twitter, I do live tweet almost every single wrestling show. So you guys can definitely go ahead and check those out. Guys, I really hope you have an awesome weekend. I hope you enjoyed the show. I want to thank you guys all so much for joining me each and every single week. Have a really awesome weekend, everybody. Take care. Bye, everyone.